Hello, Cancers. This is Turquoise Tarot. I'm going to be providing you with a general reading for 16. I'm sorry for the late post. It was an oversight on my part, and I apologize. I'm going to shuffle here, and give me just a moment while I feel the energies for this month. Cancer, general messages, February 2016. General messages for February. Cancer, general messages for February 2016. Okay, got the deck. First card out we have is a reversed Nine of Wands. Reversed Knight of Swords. A reversed King of Swords. Reversed Seven of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Reversed Knight of Pentacles. The Death card. Temperance. And the reversed Strength card. General energies, beautiful. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. That's so nice. I have to say, first and foremost, it looks like you're moving on from something. Perhaps you were in a marriage or a relationship, or you had a coworker or a boss, someone who could be very demanding, someone who's very, can be a hostile energy, someone who can be controlling. This King reversed can also be someone who is very forceful, not careful with his words. He can be the kind of person that say some really harsh things or put you down a lot. He could also be an air sign. He can be a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. But for these general readings, I really like to focus on the characteristics of the court card that I'm reading. It can be one of those signs for some of you, but for some of you, he just may have those characteristics. And again, with these court cards, it can be a he or a she. We're really focusing on the characteristics of the card, okay? So this is someone that you may have been dealing with in the past, but I see that you are in a position now where you're overcoming a lot of worry, anxiety, fear. You still have some of it at the beginning of the month, but you are really focused on healing yourself. And I feel like some of this negative energy, or your doubts, your worries, your fears, they're starting to really subside. I feel like in the past you have really tried to figure out why this King acts the way he does, why he treats you the way he does. You're still kind of analyzing this. I see you as the Queen of Wands in this reading because it's in the center of the reading. And again, I'm focusing on the characteristics of the card. Typically, this could be a fire sign. That would be a Leo, a Sagittarius. What is the other one? Aries. I'm sorry. But I honestly feel like this is you in the reading. And what it's saying to me is this month, you do have this fiery energy like a lot of the fire signs do. You're standing up for yourself. You're holding your ground. And you're not going to let someone who is in your past, or someone that is somewhat, I feel like they're somewhat still in your present, but you're not allowing this person and their character to overwhelm you like it has in the past. I feel like you're finally trying to take a stand for yourself and heal from whatever hurts or sorrows that have been caused by this person, because we have the Temperance card here, and this Temperance is about healing. It's also about finding a healthy balance. So perhaps in the past, you know, you were in this space where you were up all night, worried. You were living in a mind space of fear, worried about the what ifs, what might happen. But now you are coming into this space where you are standing your ground, you're setting healthy boundaries, and you are, in a sense, forcing this king to treat you the way you desire to be treated. This could mean that you are moving away from this king, but it could also mean that if you're not moving away from this king, you are still standing your ground with this person. I feel like this person, whoever they be, in the past, it was easy for them to approach you. It was easy for them to get under your skin. But now they're having a very difficult time doing so, because I have this Page of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So it's as if you're putting a stop to their behavior, their actions. And if you're not putting a stop to the actions, you are setting those boundaries and saying, I am not going to tolerate it. And now they're not sure how they can approach this with you. Let me just look here. I feel like you're done analyzing what happened in the past. I feel like when you were in this space where you were worried and anxious and just, you know, constantly analyzing the situation, you were looking at your past, you were looking at possibly what you two had together, what you built together. Maybe you've known this person for a long time. This person can be a friend, they can be a sibling, they can be a lover, or they can be a husband, they can be a coworker. This could really talk about any relationship that you have where you're having these challenges, okay? But like I said, you're done analyzing, you're done worrying about what was. This line right here does represent past, okay? I also see this month you're focusing on transformation, because we have the Death card. This Death card speaks about transformation. It's about letting go of the old and being reborn into the new. This can also say that you are seeing things from a different perspective than perhaps you have in the past. This Death card is moving towards this Temperance card, which says this transformation within you that you are allowing to happen is for your healing. You're moving towards healing yourself. That's your focus. You may feel like you lack the strength to deal with this situation, but I don't really see that that's the issue here. I don't feel like that's true. I feel like this is just possibly your perception. You feel overwhelmed, you feel tired, but you still have the strength within you. This is also saying that this king, when you put a stop and set your boundaries, he lacks strength. The only power that he has over you is how he can manipulate your emotions, because he likes putting you, I feel, in this space. In the past, you have tried to fight fire with this Knight of Wands, or I'm sorry, with this King of Swords. But I'm showing that that wasn't the best option for you. This Knight of Wands is all about fiery, passionate energy charging forward, and you may have tried to fight back in the past and weren't successful. But you're learning a new tactic this month, which is to basically set up those boundaries and not allow them to affect you emotionally or mentally the way they have in the past. And I think that this king is he's really this month acknowledging and realizing, okay, what I've done in the past to get under their skin is not working. So he may try another tactic at some point. I don't see that in the cards per se, but usually these kinds of people, who have, just not great intentions, that's what they typically try to do. If one tactic's not working, they're going to try something else. So just be prepared for that. I'm not saying that that's what is going to happen. You just decide to let this person out of your life if you can. And not deal with them. But if you have to deal with them, it's not wise to fight fire with fire. The wise thing to do is set up those boundaries and not let them see how whatever they're doing is affecting you emotionally or mentally. Okay? This queen, she's looking upward, and she's looking upward to the King of Swords. So it's as if you're waiting to hear something from them, possibly because you know that whatever they're doing, you see that they realize their tactics aren't working, and you're kind of waiting it out to see, is something else going to happen? Are they going to try any new tricks? You're kind of watching them. You got your eye on them. You are the Queen of Wands in this reading, however, so you are passionate, you are strong, and you are able to overcome. Okay. Another thing I want to say is, if this is an air sign that I spoke of with the King of Swords, this could very well be a Leo, because we have the lion represented here in the Strength card. Another message that I'm getting is, for some of you, what this reading is saying is you're dealing with this kind of energy, same kind of person. However, you're waiting for news from them that you're not going to receive. And when you do not receive that news, you feel like you've lost strength. You feel like you've lost the fight. I'm also seeing that this relationship caused a transformation within you. The fact that you've had to stand your ground, set boundaries, be strong, has created a new you, a new phase in your life. It's like you've learned something valuable about yourself out of this situation. And because of that, we have the overall energy being the Ten of Cups. Happiness, success, emotional fulfillment, and joy is yours to have. The thing is, you need to work on healing yourself. You need to work on changing whatever false perceptions or what have you this king has tried to instill in you. What's interesting is, underneath this of cups, we also have the Devil card. So this says to me that this relationship is a karmic relationship. Karmic being this relationship is about learning life lessons. So The reason you were involved in this relationship to begin with, no matter what kind of relationship it be, is so that you can learn the value of yourself, so that you can learn to love and trust yourself and set those healthy boundaries. The people in this Devil card, they're loosely bound and chained. They don't realize that they could easily release themselves from what binds them, but they can. So what this is saying is, this lesson that you're going through, I know it seems challenging to think of in this term, but in this way, but sometimes we go into relationships without intentionally trying to get a life lesson out of it, right? But somehow, some way, we get exactly what we want and what we need out of it. And that is you learning how to love yourself and appreciate yourself better, because you're not willing to tolerate somebody treating you worse. It's like you're realizing your worth, okay? And you are not technically bound forever to this person. You can release yourself. If there's a situation where you have to be in contact with this person, then, like I said, you need to work on setting healthy boundaries, not necessarily fighting fire with fire, spitting back arguments and going back and forth with this person, because honestly, that's what they want. They want to upset you. They're not upset by what you say to them, but they know that they upset you. So best thing to do is just act like it doesn't even bother you, it doesn't even faze you. Don't give them the time of day. That's what I'm seeing. I'm going to use these Vera Sabia cards. They are Italian oracle cards, and I've had some questions regarding these cards. I'm going to show you the box. There you can see it says Vera Sabia Italiana. And I ordered these cards online. I have not been able to find them in a store, and I have not been able to find them in English. I've only been able to find them in Italian. But if you're interested in finding the cards and purchasing them, they do come with a booklet that has an English as well as Spanish translation, okay? So let me just shuffle here, and there's a few cards that I'd like to look at. I think the first one I'd like to look at is the Strength in Reverse card. Maybe we can get some additional messages regarding that. Okay, so it could be you're feeling weak because in the past you were way too giving in this relationship. I feel this card is La Donna de Servicio. She's the female maid. This can also speak to day-to-day errands, day-to-day obligations, someone who is of service. So I feel like in the past you were of great service to this king. However, he has hurt you, has broke your heart, so you are mourning. This card talks about despair and worry and sorrows. And now, like again, we have the Death card here. This is the second Death card to come out in your reading. You are in the process of transformation, but also ending of the way things were. Okay? So all this move may have caused you to feel weak. But again, like I said, I really feel like with the Queen of Wands here, you really do have what it takes. You just have to believe that you do. Even though you're tired, even though you've been through the fight, never give up on yourself, right? You just keep those boundaries up. I'm going to look at the Knight of Pentacles next, since he's sitting next to the Queen and below the King. to see what additional message would be tied with that. Okay. So this says that this is melancholia. This is the card of melancholy, depression, sadness again. Then we have el ladro. This is the change. So something has changed. And this is viaggio. This is someone traveling with good or bad news. Okay. So it's funny how here we have the Knight of Pentacles, he's on a horse, and then we have the Viaggio card, which talks about travel, and he is on a horse. This could be saying that you are having a challenging time getting out of this space, because this Viaggio is traveling towards the change card, and to me what it says is you are wanting to move forward with change. However, you're kind of still maybe a little bit in this space where you're a little sad and, you know, mourning this loss, or, you know, sad because of how this king has been with you. I want to look at the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So on the Seven of Pentacles reversed, we have Speranza. This is the hope, the hope card. Then we have Giovanni Fanciulla. This is the attractive young female who is already taken, or she is someone who is a woman with obligations such as children. And then we have Sospiri. This card talks about a longing. So with the Seven of Pentacles, again, you know, upright, this would be you analyzing your past, remembering the hopes you had for this relationship, a longing you had for this relationship. And now that it's in the reverse, I feel as though this is what you are letting go of. There was a strong hope for the relationship to work. There was a strong attraction, and there was a longing. But with these cards falling out on the Seven of Pentacles reversed, I feel like this is something you are now working on letting go of, so that you can have this transformation. It's like a necessary, it's necessary for you to let it go. Okay. One thing I'm going to do before I end the reading, your general reading, is I am going to pull one of these Oracle of Vision cards. I didn't do it for the other signs for February, but since I'm late and I've posted all the other ones for February, and then I started on the readings and I didn't get yours posted, I'm just gonna throw this in there. And I love these cards, by the way. I like using them. I love the imagery and the messages that go along with these cards. So I'm just gonna use this as an overall maybe message for the reading. General energies, February 2016. Cancer general messages, 2016. Cancer general messages, 16. One more. Actually, I need another one. Telling me to shuffle a couple more times. I don't know why I'm going to be fanning them out, but let's see what we get. Pretty card. If you can see the card, we have the yin yang symbol. Looks like he's playing some type of guitar. And there's a rainbow. Let me look up the card and I'll read the message for you that's associated with it. It says harmony, balance, being in tune with others. You don't get harmony when everybody sings the same note. Harmony is not achieved in isolation. It requires a resonance or participation with others linked by time, rhythm, or agreement. To be out of sync results in disharmony, discord, and conflict. These musical metaphors can easily be applied to other actions and relationships that require us to live, work, and generally relate to others. Adjusting our perspective and modifying our position allows us to disregard differences and move forward in tune with others. With deft fingers, the jester produces a melody rainbow of harmony. Her dress and the musical score sheet also working together to tell the same message of her delight. Be wary of always making adjustments for the common good. There will be occasions when you should take the lead and solo performance is required. I think that resonated pretty well with this reading. So that's the general reading for Cancer for the month of 16. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share if you have. And if you'd like information on a personal reading, I have posted a website in the information box below. Have a wonderful February, and thank you so much, Cancer, for watching.